Hello everyone, I am joined today with my really good friend Sam Di Palo, fifth generation of the Di Palo family in Little Italy, New York. They've been specialized in Italian cheeses for over 100 years. Recently, Sammy opened this wine bar right behind us. Sammy, please introduce yourself.
How's it going? I'm Sam, and I set up a nice little aperitivo for us to try, some Italian cheese and wine.
Can't wait to taste it.
Andiamo a provare?
Andiamo. Ready? Okay,
All right.
here we go. We are here with Sammy Di Palo in his beautiful new wine bar. What's the name of the wine bar?
Di Palo.
Okay,
Di Palo wine
perfect.
bar.
That
Easy.
works. That works. With all these beautiful dishes, and before we even start, I have to thank his mother, Miss Di Palo, Connie Di Palo, for preparing most of the dishes. I know Sammy needs to get some credit for it.
I'll take credit for the wine. I'll be pouring the wine.
Okay, fair enough. So what are we doing today?
Well, today basically we have set up is what would be your typical aperitivo. In Italy, before going to dinner, they like to sit down, have a bite of cheese, glass of wine, to sort of whet the appetite. So what we have prepared here, Italy is a big, complex country. Not big in terms of size, but big in terms of culture, food. And there's a lot to know, and it can be intimidating. So we're just going to start at the top of Italy, the most northern region, which is Alto Adige, which is just underneath Austria. And what I set up for you is a selection of cheeses and meats from that area.
Beautiful plate.
Yes. So we have...
What are we starting with?
Well, so you have 4 different kinds of cheeses, all made with whole cow's milk. They're very strong, flavorful, rich cheeses, soft, and then it gets to more aged, harder, more complex cheese. So here you have the Lagorai, which is from an area in the Alps called Lagorai. The Lagorai mountain range. No, that's the Vezzena, that's the cheese after.
So which one am I starting with first?
You would start with this lighter color one.
With the lighter one, okay. Do I just eat it like that?
Yeah, first you should smell it to get a sense of the cheese itself, the terroir. You can actually taste the milk. I'll join you on that.
This is really light.
Very creamy, very light. And then you should follow it up
Can I have a plate, please?
with a glass of wine. In this case, we're trying Lagrein. Lagrein is the name of the grape, which is typical to this area in the Alps, in the eastern part of the Alps, in Alto Adige.
So what are we looking for when we're picking up a wine for the cheese, for this cheese?
Well, basically, I like to keep it relative. So if you're having a specific cheese, I like to get a wine from that specific area, because some wines will clash with the cheese and vice versa if you mix regions, just based on the food culture of that particular area. And in this respect, this is a wine similar to Syrah, a little less spicy, but it has its own identity. It's grown in high altitude vineyards in the mountains. Very dry, long, persistent finish, and that'll help cleanse the richness on the palate of the creaminess of the cheese. And this helps you sort of, get a better sense of they work in harmony. As I say in Italian, abbinamento fa un buon abbinamento. They go well together.
Very often I come to your store, to the wine store around the block, and we're opening a couple of bottles of wine. You are constantly smelling the wine, right? What do you smell when
apart from it being
here?
also could be considered a habit,
right?
to some people.
No, but you are totally in the zone when you
I'm
go
in
out.
the zone, and people want to. It's basically invoking memories of past trips. I can sense the terroir. You can almost smell the area through the wine itself. It takes on local characteristics of the area. I know it sounds crazy, but once you go visit these amazing places in Italy, and you're there, and then you smell the wine, all you have to do is smell the wine in any other place in the world, and you're transported back.
It is
that
our
specific
strongest sense.
Yes,
The smell, yeah.
absolutely.
So what are we doing next? Which cheese? I
So
know
then
you
from
have-
there, I would go try this one here,
Which is?
the altabadia cheese. Also a whole milk cow cheese. It's going to be a little stronger, still very creamy, but it's going to have a stronger flavor.
And where is it from? The
Alto
Badia?
Adige.
Also.
So the first one, Lagorai, Alto Adige, Trentino Alto Adige is one region separated by 2 different cultures. You have the German-speaking side and the Italian-speaking side.
Right.
But it's all Italy.
Okay.
But they
I'm going
share
for it.
similar cultures in terms of the food and wine. So this altabadia comes from north of Trentino. And it's gonna have like a stronger, but still creamy.
And
But,
yeah, this
but
is more
stronger
familiar.
flavor. Yeah.
Really good. Okay.
The meat that we have is more or less it's a prosciutto, but in this area they call it spec prosciutto, which they smoke, so it has a very smoky flavor to it. And as you can see, so the diameter is much thinner than your typical prosciutto. It's a little bit drier, and the smokiness jumps out at you right away. You can smell it.
Yeah, so I can smell the wood in
Absolutely,
here,
yeah.
right?
And they burn herbs as well. And they just as they hang the prosciutto, they let the smoke rise, and that dries it out. And it's very typical of that area.
I can't wait to taste these olives. This is one of the prettiest olives I've seen. What about them? Tell me.
These are Cerignola olives.
Are they different taste? The color?
The,
Different color, different taste?
The black will have a different taste than the green.
Okay, I'm going for the green one.
I'm gonna go for the red one. Very meaty, juicy, salty. It sits in the salt brine, but also great to. This is another palate cleanser, the olive. When you're eating rich cheeses, the meats, you know, the fat and the meat, the oils. This will also, it's a palate cleanser and a good alternative to the cheese and meat to go with the wine. And then you alternate, you go back and forth.
How do you pair a wine to a meal?
Pairing wines to meals, well, I want to make sure what I'm eating doesn't overpower what I'm drinking, and what I'm drinking doesn't overpower what I'm eating. So if you're having a heavy steak, you'd want a full-bodied wine with very strong tannins. The tannins is that scraping sensation you feel on the palate. That comes from the skins of the grapes.
Okay, so for someone who's just starting right now to drink wine or to pair wines to a meal, what would be your best advice?
To try as many wines as possible of the same kind. So go grape by grape and try as many different winemakers, different levels and price categories.
Makes sense.
And that's basically how you learn about the quality of a specific wine. In Italy, there's over 2,000 different grapes that they use to make wine, which is an endless journey of learning and tasting. So it never ends, and you just have to target one specific region and the type of wines in those regions, and just study that, and try different levels and price categories, and then you get more familiar with I like this better than that. This is higher quality than this, and you can pinpoint exactly what you're getting at a restaurant. If it's worth the money, it's not worth the money. You know, you can tell. You just got to listen to your palate. But most importantly, you have to have an open mind and also learn a little bit about the local culture. Some people might not understand a certain type of wine. They might reject it based on their own palate because their palate is they've never had it before. So basically, it's just drink. Drink as much wine as you can, and you can learn to be a wine expert.
Is an inexpensive wine necessarily a bad wine and the other way around?
Not at all. Not at all. In 2019, you can definitely still find a good quality between $12 and $15, $20.
That's good.
But make sure you just go to a reputable merchant that you trust and have a good relationship with, and you're guaranteed to get good quality without spending a lot of money. There's no need, especially in Italian wine, you get the best value out of any other wine making region in the world because there's so much of it, so many different kinds, and the prices are very competitive. And they're very passionate and proud of the products that they're putting out. So you're guaranteed a good quality wine for less cost than some of the other, I'm not going to mention any other country, but some countries you have to pay a lot of money to get a good bottle of wine. Whereas in Italy, you could spend $20 in a wine store and get something that's fantastic, that's incredible. The next cheese, this is called Vezzena. And you can see like the darker colored milk. And this is a more aged cheese. It almost has like a crunch when you eat it. Those are the natural amino acid crystals inside. And some people enjoy it. It's a stronger flavor, but if it's too strong, I like to drizzle a little bit of acacia honey on the cheese itself.
Gotta try that.
And in this respect, it almost becomes like a dessert. You can even have this after dinner, cheese and honey, if you don't want sugary dessert.
Yeah.
That's outstanding, those cheese.
Really good.
It's a mountain cheese.
It takes away from the sharpness.
Yes. It
Really
neutralizes
nice,
that
yeah?
sharpness down.
Really
a
nice
little bit.
balance. Let's move on to the panini right now.
Okay. So the panini we prepared for you today is relative to the cheese and the meat. So it comes from Tirol, which is Sud Tirol, Alto
Yeah.
Adige Sud Tirol,
In the south.
and we call this the Tirol. And basically it's the speck prosciutto, rucola, and one of the cheeses melted.
Thank you. That looks beautiful. Check this out. Get closer. Yeah. Really good.
This is also really good if you have a brutal hangover the next day and you need to have a little hair of the dog, a little sip of wine. This panino is a game changer. This will bring you back to life.
Really good. Delicious. I know your family has been in the cheese business for over 100 years. What made you get into the wine business?
So what made us get into the wine business, basically, logically speaking, you need cheese with wine to be a complete Italian gastronomia. In Italy, you could go to the cheese store or food store, and they'll have wine, food all
Right.
together. Here in New York, the laws are a little different. You have to segregate the two between alcohol and food. When we had the available location open up next door to us, we jumped at the opportunity to make it to be una gastronomia completa, complete gastronomy.
Like one stop.
One-stop shop, but technically you have to go outside and into the next door
Right.
with a glass wall.
Because it has to be a different entity.
There has to be a different entity. But this way, the people can purchase their cheeses and have fine wines to pair with them. Very easy, without having to go elsewhere.
Well, we opened many bottles at your wine store. I just recently got to see the cheese shop that you have, that your family
Yes.
owns.
Yeah, because typically when you come visit me in the wine store, with the intention to see the cheese store,
But we never make it.
we never make it. So we're 3 bottles deep into the wine. And
Yeah?
then-
What are we eating next?
So this has nothing to do with the region that I'm speaking of for the cheeses and the wine.
Okay.
But this is one of our products that we make in-house in the store, which is burrata, which is basically a mozzarella, the shell, the outside, and inside is stuffed with bits of curd and cream of the leftover
I
production
asked
of
a
the
few
mozzarella.
mozzarella makers about this cheese, and they said, no, this is a specialty. We don't make it here.
It's
Right?
it's complicated. It can get messy in the cheese room, you know.
Do you make it in-house?
Yes, we do.
Yeah? Okay. How do we eat this?
You can eat it a number of different ways. In this preparation, I like to just eat it with a fork and knife.
Okay.
And it's very indulgent, and you have to not be afraid to get some.
Let's see if they can... Okay, here we go. Please. That looks beautiful. Wow. Hold on. Here you go. Please, Sammy. This looks like ricotta cheese,
Buona.
right?
It looks like it, but it tastes
It's
very
not,
different.
yeah.
A little stronger flavor, a little firmer than ricotta.
Really good.
Thank you.
And I love the balsamic glaze they put
Yeah,
on
that
it.
gives a little complexity,
Right. Sweetness.
sweetness, complexity to the milky richness of the burrata.
It tastes like fresh milk,
Yes,
right? All right. Now I'm going for the.
that's a good follow-up after the burrata.
Yeah.
The sugar-coated almond. These actually come from
Naturally, I
Spain.
went for that.
Yeah,
Very,
I'll join you on that one.
really good. Earlier in the segment, I mentioned that you are the 5th generation of the Di Palo family.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about their history.
Well, basically, my family immigrated here in 1903. My great-great-grandfather, Vino di Palo, he came from the region of Basilicata and settled here in Little Italy, making cheese in a small latteria where they sold only milk, and they made a couple of different cheeses. And then from there, it sort of expanded. His daughter then moved from Basilicata to New York, and she opened up her store, which is the store that we occupy today. Again, another Lagorai, and then from there, in the 1920s, started to import directly from Italy.
And who runs the business right now?
Right now, it's a joint effort of my father, my aunt, my uncle, my mother, myself, my sister, my cousins. Still all in the family.
I know you are one of the most passionate person when it comes to wine. Travel a lot around the world. How do you pick up a wine?
Oh, first and foremost, I like to get to know the winemaker themselves, to look at their production, to look at their land, the winery, and learn directly from them. Personally, I think inside this bottle, you're getting to know the winemaker's personality. These are small-scale winemakers. It's not a big commercial company. And when I find a wine that I enjoy tasting, but I don't know the winemaker, I like to go make a visit to get to know them better so I can sell it better and I can transmit their passion and their culture direct to the consumer. So it's important to me to be there, go to Italy, meet the people who make the product, to do it justice when I'm in the process of selling it here. So the consumer is guaranteed precisely what they're paying for. They're getting the top quality and something special, something different. So I have to go as much as possible throughout the year. Aside from the fact that I love going to Italy and enjoying the lifestyle there, for just vacation, it's never just vacation because I'm always going to a cheese production or a wine production because to be with the people that make it, because that's where my passion comes from the people who make the stuff.
Right, and you often go even before the production. Right?
Throughout the year.
Okay.
Throughout the year, at least 3 times a year, I go visit specific. I target key people for the season, to follow up because you never cease to learn when you go. So every time I make multiple visits to the same place, I'm learning something different every time.
Okay. Now tell me one story that you will never forget visiting a winery.
Well, it's easy. The one thing that stands out in my mind is it's a winery in Umbria, which is located in central Italy. And their big wine is called Trentino. It's a very big, heavy, full-body red wine. The grape is Trentino. It's made in Montefalco. And there's a winemaker called Paolo Tabarini. And in my opinion, he makes the best red wine of Umbria. Overall, the Trentino that he makes is incredible, second to none. But more so than how good the wine is and how big the wine is how big his personality is. And hanging out with this guy, you go to visit him in the winery, you think you're going to be there for 45 minutes, an hour. You're there 7 hours, he's holding you hostage. He's opening a prosciutto that his father made. He's making you taste every wine. The clock's going by, the time's going by, you don't even realize it. All you know is like you're covered, your mouth is purple from all the wine he's giving you to drink. He's got so much energy, he's bouncing all over the wall, it's like hard to keep up with. And I'll never forget, I visit him all the time, he's a good friend of mine. But I can't get out, no less than 5 hours minimum. The longest was like 10 hours.
And 10 bottles later?
More than 10 bottles. Like it's an experience. But the thing that I'll never forget, when we were leaving the winery, it was dark, nighttime, and there's the vines right in front of the wine cellar. And there's Paolo Tabarini, and he's there still, bundle of energy, saying goodbye to us, but disappears into the darkness, into the vineyard. I don't know if it was the wine that I was hallucinating, but he goes saying cha 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 and disappeared. No, he went back into the vineyard, but the winery is
right
on one direction. He goes into the darkness,
It's like the perfect finale.
It was the perfect finale, and I never forgot that. And I don't know if he did that on purpose or he wanted to check because he's an organic farmer. I don't know if he wanted to check the roses that he plants in front of each vine to make sure
that there's no
outbreak. They can target the roses. I'm looking for an excuse for him. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
it's all in your head.
Maybe it was all in my head. But that was the biggest impression he made on me. It was how passionate, how energetic he is. Just a special wine, special person. when you drink the wine and then you meet the person, in this case Gianpaolo Tabarini, it'll all make sense. But
Right. You understand how passionate they were
yeah,
when they were
it
making
was just him disappearing into the darkness, into this vineyard. There was not. It's like rural area into the bushes, and we were thinking like, did he just like what is he doing in it? But that was like something. That was just one story out of many. But
Now, you and I traveled in the past to Sardinia.
yes,
I know Sardinia, that was absolutely an amazing time.
one of my favorite trips I've ever made to Italy was when we went in Sardinia.
On that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But which part of Italy is your favorite? And why?
I cannot decide a specific favorite, but I will say Umbria would be my go-to region because of its centrally located position in Italy. It's in the heart of Italy. The Umbria they call the green heart of Italy because it's green all year round. It doesn't. The grass doesn't die. The trees have leaves. It's cold. It snows, but for some reason or another, it's just always green. And my family has some property there that we stay, and it's our base for when we travel in Italy. I could go to the north, I could go to the south in the same time frame by car. So it's strategically located. The food is great. The wines are great. Your grandfather left Yemen to go to Israel and brought the tradition of making grappa that he used to make over there to Israel. In my family, our tradition is mozzarella, ricotta.
Okay. Do you know how to make?
Yes.
Really?
Course, yeah.
I gotta see one day doing it.
Sure. Absolutely. Not today.
I know.
But yeah, absolutely. I can show you a demonstration on how to make cheese. No, but that's basically what was passed down from father to father. In America, the last 5 generations was cheese making, was for making fresh mozzarella, fior di latte. Mozzarella and fior di latte are 2 different things.
Sammy, I always say I got the best job in the world. It's not even 12 noon and we're having a wine.
Alla salute.
Salute. Wow, this is a good wine.
It's excellent.
Sammy opened this wine bar this past weekend. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Beautiful place. I took a few shots earlier to so they'll see it. Tell me a little bit about the place, what it's about. I know that you already have 2 businesses going on here, the
Right.
cheese and the wine shop.
Basically, this bar here is to give people a place where they can come and taste the cheese and the wine before they buy it to bring home. So there's no pressure that you have to buy a bottle that you're unfamiliar with. We'll have it here to taste, try it with a piece of cheese. And on a more informative level, you'll be a little education in the process, learning where it comes from, what it's about, and what they're experiencing.
Very nice. So you're basically bringing both places into one place.
Exactly. Trying to combine the two.
Very smart. So is everyone that works here as educated about the cheese and the wine as you are?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. Sammy, your shiny espresso machine there has been staring at me the entire time.
Vuoi che ti faccia un caffè?
Per favore, doppio.
Un doppio?
Sì, per favore.
Subito.
Grazie.
Prego.
Sammy, thank you so much for having me. I had an amazing day. Delicious food, great wine, and a beautiful place you have in here.
Thank you, Razi. It's been a lot of fun. We look forward to having you back really soon.
Thank you so much. And guys, if you're ever in the area in Little Italy, please make sure to visit my very good friend Sammy at his place, Di Palo's. Until next time, I'm Raz for Calling All Cooks. Bye now.